In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. We're Nerd is the New Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, with my co-host.
This is Eli.
Nickname, Too Fast, Too Furious. Shout out to Anthony on Geek's Ass.
I'll be Eli Starsky.
Well, Too Fast, Too Furious. Also, that's what she said.
I say Starsky from Starsky Hudson for the driving theme. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think. Which one was Starsky? Was that
He's the brunette, wasn't he?
That was Ben Stiller.
Oh, you're talking about the remake.
I don't know.
I'm talking about the original, man.
Okay.
Paul Michael Glaser. I don't even know the motherfucker's name.
Really? I don't even know the fucker's name. I know Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson. I know that was one before the movie, but that's the only ones I know of. Oh, man. But we can go past that. We can actually jump to the podcast because we actually had some news we want to talk about. We had another celebrity death that's kind of caught us all off guard.
Yeah.
Peter Fonda passed.
I didn't even know he was still alive, which is sad, but hey.
I kind of knew a couple
Rest in
years ago.
peace.
I think he had like a health scandal. I was like, dang, he's still alive? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Honestly, when he did Ghost Rider, I thought he was already dead. I was surprised he was still alive then.
Yeah, yeah. It was cool to
For
see
those who
him.
don't know,
Yeah.
yes, he was in the Nicolas Cage original in Ghost Rider. He played Mephisto. He played the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Pretty good, too.
Yeah, he
He's pretty
played a good
good.
role in that one, yeah.
Well, you know me, I like that movie. So
I have a theory about Mephisto, because Mephisto always says that he's not the devil. Like, he takes orders from a higher devil than him. I'm thinking, like, every fictional version of the devil, like DC and Marvel and Image or in fucking Star Trek, whatever like that, whatever devil you see is just an aspect of an overall devil, He's like the devil of that universe.
Okay.
If you want to get, metaphysical and all that shit, however you want to think about it. That's my thing. He was also wasn't he in Easy Rider?
Yeah, he directed that. Or did he direct, or was that Dennis Hopper? Did Dennis Hopper direct that? But anyways, yeah, that movie was a classic movie that sort of ended was a revolutionary movie that sort of launched into the 70s cinema of a new form of cinema, independent, more real sort of style of filmmaking versus
Born to be wild.
Yeah.
Had Steppenwolf on there.
Yeah, the hippie culture. It was about the changing of cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Where these two hippie guys are just riding around the country, doing drugs, getting laid.
Yeah, and I think just him being in that movie was the reason why he was in Ghost Rider again, with kind of like an homage, even though he was playing different characters. Just the fact that it was a movie about a superhero biker,
Okay, yeah. Dennis Hopper directed it, but Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper wrote the screenplay.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So,
and it was one of those movies that's fine. Like, you got some movies that just define a decade. Like, you can't remake them because they were only made because of the decade they were in.
Yeah.
That's one of those movies. So.
And that movie just sort of highlighted the counterculture,
right.
where movies before that movies were kind of cheesy and campy, and this signaled in a new era of filmmaking, So.
And so, yeah, rest in peace to Peter Fonda. We can go past that. Eli, something else happened. I guess we can kind of segue to this because remember a couple months ago when they made this big deal about the Marvel Marathon, and you can enter this contest, and if you win, you can watch the Marvel Marathon. We'll pay you $1,000 to watch them all.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So I entered the contest, didn't win, never got a call back. That's cool. But that same company is doing another one. But this time they're doing it with Friends.
Yeah, you'd have to pay me to watch Friends.
So, like I said, I just want to know what your opinion of is Friends, because people make it seem like Friends is some kind of big phenomenon or something. When I grew up from, like, it was whatever.
Yeah, I had friends and relatives that liked that show, and I just couldn't see why. I'm sorry. It just wasn't for me.
It's like, I don't understand why Friends is this a big phenomenon when I feel like there were better shows at the time when Friends was on the air.
Yeah, that I watched.
Right, that I thought were much better, funnier, it's no Seinfeld. Seinfeld was funny.
Yeah, I just couldn't buy. This is New York. These are like the yuppies in New York. They're like, these motherfuckers ain't from New York.
It was pretty people on TV. That's all it was.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit. I didn't care.
Yeah, something like, but people make it seem like, oh, they want it back. It's like, cause I think it's like the 20th anniversary or something like that when it went off the air or when it started or some shit like that. And everybody keeps wanting some kind of resurgence when it comes back on TV. And I think they even gonna air like some of the episodes in the theaters, and people are getting happy over there. I'm like, really?
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
I didn't know it was some big phenomenon, man. I thought it was just like another show or some shit.
I get, yeah, people liked it. Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Whoever's out there.
Are you gonna apply for this one too?
Fuck no. My heart is still broken from the Marvel when they never called me back from the. Eli, I did a video submission and everything.
Oh, did you?
Like, I really went all out with this shit.
Were you in your Black Panther costume?
I did not. I started to go, should I go the extra mile? Is that overselling it? Like, no, I'm going to just like normal. Just show my normal personality. It was like you said, for all the rules that they were naming, you pretty much got to be like a big personality. But the thing is, I didn't hear anybody that won.
Oh, yeah.
That would have made me feel better if I heard, okay, such and such in Pasadena, California won the contest. You can watch Marvel movies for the rest of your life and whatever for $1,000 a movie.
Yeah, because weren't they supposed to like stream it or tweet about it while they were
right?
Or something?
But you heard nothing about it.
Yeah.
So I feel like the whole thing is a scam.
Yeah. Well, that motherfucker who won sucks.
Right. Like he didn't do his job. He just got it just like, oh well.
I got over 1 million followers on YouTube.
Right. Like that's some bullshit. So yeah. So I'm just letting people know now. If you thinking if there are fans out there, like why? If you are a Friends fan, what the fuck do you like about this show? Please tell me. I'm confused.
Man, my cousin. Like my cousin liked that shit. And my cousin's
theme song was stupid. Yeah. It's
like I would go pick him up for work. My cousin's like pretty hood too. You know what I'm saying? And I would pick him up from work, and he'd tape that shit. I would pick him up for work at night, and he would tape it during the day, and then he'd go home after work and watch tape the reruns.
Yeah, you know, like they like renegotiated their contract in like the last 2 seasons, like that. They were making $1 million. Like, each one of them were making $1 million an episode.
Yeah, just couldn't get into it. I don't know. Not my thing, man. Just couldn't get into it.
I don't know. You know what? Some people also say that show had a bad effect on society, like in the 90s. For instance, okay, remember the whiny ass dude that was like the main dude on the show, like the one that was in love with the other girl. Well, I know you don't. I'm getting to the point.
Okay.
They said it was kind of like the rise of the beta male.
Okay, like the nice guy, the sensitive.
The nice guy, sensitive guy and stuff like that. Yeah. Because not only him, but then you started having action movie star guys doing the same thing, like Matthew Broderick and Godzilla and shit. All of a sudden, like the nerds, all of a sudden started to get the girls and be the action heroes, stuff like that. Where the decade before, we had, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Willis, those guys. But
I was like thinking about that shit.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I watched Fist of Fury is on Amazon right now.
Yeah, right.
And I was watching that shit. But then I was like remembering like when I watched it's called Way of the Dragon in China, but Return of the Dragon was when me and my friends rented it back in the day. It was the one with Chuck Norris, where he fights Chuck Norris. And I remember at the end of that fight, Bruce Lee kills Chuck Norris. He breaks his neck, but then he felt bad about it. Like he's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to kill this fucking guy. And I remember.
I thought that was different. I thought he was just like, he was a noble warrior, and I'm just showing respect to this warrior. That's what I got from it.
Well, he didn't want to kill him. Like, he got all, like, he actually laid the body down, and he, like, rolls up his gi, and, like, he didn't mean to kill the guy. But he showed remorse, for killing. And for that time, I mean, I was, like, 10 years old. It was the 80s, and we watched it. Yeah, it was Rambo, it was Schwarzenegger, Die Hard, where they all... at the end, they kill the villain and they say a witty line, let off some steam or yippee-ki-yay. Yeah, there was always you kill the guy and you say something funny and you celebrate the death of the villain. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how it was. That's we laughed. Yeah, the tough guy wins and shit. But I remember that I was like, wow, Bruce Lee's a bad motherfucker, but he didn't mean to kill this guy. And I was like, that always kind of like stuck out with me. Like, wow, all these years later, I thought, yeah, no shit. Even back then, this is what, the 70s, and he was like showing honor, respect for the villain, for your enemy, that match.
Right.
You know,
he was a worthy opponent. I was able to beat him, but
they actually
he did say some funny shit to him after he killed him.
Yeah, and like before they fought, they like stretch out. They let both of them stretch out and warm up before they fight and shit. You know, you know. So yeah, that was just a little rant, I guess.
So yeah, rest in peace, Bruce Lee. I don't know how we got into this, but okay.
And Peter Fonda.
And Peter Fonda. And Dennis Hopper.
And Dennis Hopper. That's right, Dennis Hopper.
He passed like a while ago.
Yeah, a few years ago. Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. Anyway, let's get to the podcast.
And Friends. And fuck Friends, though.
Yeah, fuck Friends. No respect for them. Let's actually get to the podcast. Let's get into it where we talk about the box office numbers. And we actually did see some movies this week, so we're going to do some more reviews. We're turning to a basic Siskel and Ebert. I don't know which one of us is Siskel, which one of us is Ebert, you know. But we'll figure it out.
I'll probably be Ebert. I'm the chubby guy, so I'll be Ebert.
I'm not bald, so I guess I'm Roper.
Or you're Malton. You're Leonard Malton?
Yeah, I'm Malton. I'm one of those guys. One of the off guys that got canceled after. What was it? Richard Martin. Who was the guy that did? Never mind. I'm getting off subject.
Rex Reed.
I was gonna say who? Landis. Which one is Landis? Martin Landis. Wasn't he a critic?
Martin Landis.
Yeah. Max Landis, the douchebag, his father.
No, John Landis is he made movies.
That guy. But I thought he was a critic also.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, who cares? All right. Anyway, box office numbers. Number one movie of the week. Eli, give it to me. What was it?
Is it that Bad Boys?
It was the Good Boys.
Good Boys. Sorry. Oh, Bad Boys.
That one. Yes. It was the number. It was the number one movie of the week. Basically, super bad babies. Super bad for babies, or whatever you call it. Yeah, so, number two was Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Still hanging in there. Even though it was the second week, it was the number one, and Good Boys knocked it off. This is the third week that Universal had a movie in the top spot.
Oh, good for them.
Because Good Boys is also a Universal movie, plus Hobbs and Shaw was
because Disney didn't have anything this week.
They didn't, but they still have number three. They still had a Lion King in there. Oh, Eli, I saw Lion King.
Did you?
Yeah,
the new one.
The new one, yeah. Mom wanted to go. I saw it. I'm going to give a quick review on it right now. Okay. The movie looks beautiful. I'll be honest with you. Oscar season, when Oscar something, if this movie doesn't get Oscar for best special effects, just throw the Oscars away. It's there's no competition. It's just that. But there's a big but in there. Eli, it reaches that uncanny valley. And here's the uncanny valley part. As beautiful and as the movie looks and as realistic as it looks, the thing is, when the lions are talking and stuff like that, and you look into the eyes have no soul. That's the thing. That's the hard part.
You wanted big, giant anime eyes?
I want something. To look at me when they're spoiler, Mufasa dies. If you haven't seen that movie, get the fuck out of here, man. But Mufasa dies, and they show the close up on his eyes, and in the old movie, in the cartoon, it was all expressed like that, and you felt it. In this one, it's like, oh fuck, my dad died. Oh well, because you don't feel it in his eyes. You just there's no soul there. The movie just feels like you can. Anytime you look into the eyes, you can feel that binary code. That CGI.
So they're so real.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's just when they get there, you just okay, they feel like dolls. They feel like lifelike dolls, sex dolls. Not sex. I don't want to have sex with a lion, but that's what I meant.
So the lions weren't crying and they weren't smiling and laughing.
There's no expression. There's nothing there. So when you walk away from the movie, even though it's a technical achievement, there's no soul. It's lifeless. So when you walk away from the movie, it's nothing you take away from it. Where the original 2D movie, you did get, expressive things into it. And they changed up some stuff also. There's a few dialogue. For the most part, it's a shot-for-shot remake of Lion King. There are a few things they added. Some of the songs suck. I'm sorry. Beyonce is no Elton John. I'm sorry. I like Elton John songs better.
So basically, Disney blew all this money to remake a cartoon when everybody just wanted a cartoon.
Right. When everybody thought the cartoon was better, the scenes are better. For instance, okay, take nostalgia out of it. Okay, this movie does exist. Would we like to live in a world where this movie doesn't exist? Well, the fact is the movie exists. So going forward and you're showing somebody The Lion King, which version would you show? If they've never seen either version of the movie before, would you show them this CGI version or would you show them the 2D animated version? Honestly, I would still show the 2D animated version.
Yeah.
Because this new version, it's so soulless, it's so emotionless, and there's nothing to take away from it. It's just like there's no emotional connection with this movie because everything is so. It's not in the fact that they're realistic in life, like it's the fact that there's no soul in it. Even though the voice acting is still pretty good, James Earl Jones returns. Donald Glover and Beyonce actually did a pretty good job. Even though people want to shit on him right now, I think they did a pretty good job. Scar sucked. I don't know who they got for Scar. I think it's Chewy Tail Ejiofor. That guy.
Oh, that dude. Yeah.
That guy. He sucked. I'm sorry. He's no Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons killed that shit back when he was playing Scar back in whenever. So I don't know. The movie just it didn't hit me. It didn't move me. Nothing in the movie I had an emotional connection with. That's just me. And I wanted to like this movie. And it was longer. Like, why the fuck is it longer? It just felt like it was like deleted scenes was in it and shit like that. Oh, Seth Rogen's killed it as Pumbaa. I don't know who played Timon, but as Pumbaa, he killed it. So shout out to Seth Jones. He was one of the few things that was head and shoulders better in the remake.
All right.
So overall, I get a movie 3 out of 5. Completely forgettable. I mean, they threw some money at this movie, but just like, why? And then all of a sudden, and then I'm looking at the numbers, it outgrossed Black Panther.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm like, and everybody likes to be a smart ass. Black Panther was just a Lion King ripoff. Well, fucking duh. You want a cookie? Yeah, that's what's the point. Ryan Coogler said he was trying to make a Lion King ripoff.
So this movie outgrossed Lion King or Black Panther, but nobody likes it.
Right. That's the thing I don't get. Like, why is it making so much money?
Yeah, so that's the thing. With the shitty movies, just make money.
Nobody likes it.
Nobody likes the shit, yet they're still going to see the shit.
Right. I don't know. Oh, well, okay, let's keep going. Angry Birds. What the fuck? They got Angry Birds 2?
Okay.
And it's number 4.
All right, and the number 4.
I didn't even know the thing. I didn't even know it was a thing. Okay. Number 5, your movie, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, that's a big drop.
That's a big drop.
Number 1 was it number 1 last week?
No, it was like number 2.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, after Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah. Number 6, 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. Okay.
Shark Week.
Another shark movie. Number 7, Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Turns out my nephew didn't give a shit about Lion King for some reason. Didn't want to see that. But he does want to see Dora and the City of Lost Gold.
Oh, well, there you go. You gonna take him to see that shit?
Before I go see that, I got a card and check the date of whoever plays Dora first.
My kid actually went and saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying because if she's under 18, I'm not seeing that shit. You're not getting me arrested.
He actually I won't go see it. I was like, okay. So he went and saw it. So I didn't go see it, but he did.
I don't know shit about Dora. I'm like,
it's a little kid show. Like
they're basically saying it's the Mexican Black Panther. Like every Latino in Hollywood is in this movie.
Yeah, it's a little kid show on Nickelodeon. She was like a little mini Tomb Raider, I guess, or something.
No, because the girl playing it now looked like she was playing Tomb Raider.
She wasn't Robin Graves and shit, but she went around exploring shit. Little Indiana Jones.
I'm just saying the girl playing her now could play Lara Croft.
Okay, I don't know too much about it. I don't know who's in it or anything, but he wanted to see it because he grew up on that shit. That's his shit. He grew up on that shit. Yeah, so.
No, I guess we're old. Fuck
yeah. I have 2 words. Yeah.
Number 8, we had Once Upon a Time in China.
In China?
Is that a movie? Or is that a porn movie? That's not a porn, is it?
That's Jet Li. Once Upon a Time in China.
Okay, because I'm thinking of, what's that? One Night in China? That was a porn. That's right.
Oh, you're talking about the wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm getting my movies confused. I'm like, okay, I know that's a thing. Okay. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Eli, did you see it again?
I've seen it 4 times.
Okay, I was trying to see if you went for a 5th.
I might. Who knows?
Okay. At that point, it's about to come on Blu-ray away.
Well, it's only 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks. You know, almost a month, 3 weeks now.
It's about a month. It's been in there about a month now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw it once every week, then it's about four weeks. So you may have missed one. So let's say it's been out at least 4 weeks. So yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have? Not Blinded by Light.
Oh, that's the
Blinded by the Light.
The Indian guy listening to Bruce Springsteen movie.
That's a Bruce Springsteen movie?
Yeah, the Indian kid.
I thought that movie was okay.
Or is he Pakistani or something? He's
no, that was yesterday. That was yesterday with the Beatles.
Okay, well, there's another
so
movie.
They made a movie.
Yeah, with the.
You may say they made the same movie with Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, like one movie. Yeah, this one's where he's into Bruce Springsteen. Like he's really into, and then he travels to Jersey or whatever to go meet him or something. But he's like Pakistani, I think, maybe.
It's like the same fucking movie. They're not even waiting for these movies to leave the theater.
Well, the other one is like about like if the Beatles never exist, right? Isn't that one?
Right, but I mean it's the same thing. It's an Indian dude singing Beatles songs.
But this one, I don't think he sings them. I think he's just like really likes Bruce Springsteen or something. Okay,
I'm just saying these movies sound very similar. And they're not even wasting. They don't even wait. It's like, well, that movie's popular. Let's just make this movie like now. They probably started production on it like two weeks ago. What we talking about? Okay. And the art of racing in the rain.
Nope. Never heard of it.
Nobody knows. This is just bad. I'm gonna tell you why this is bad. Because guess who produced this movie? Fox produced this movie.
Oh.
And Disney is not happy. You got the art of racing in the rain, flop. Dark Phoenix, flop. There's rumors going around that Disney might kill Fox. Like overall. Like you know how you wanted to see New Mutants? Nah, not gonna happen.
Yeah, we ain't seen that shit.
Yeah, they're just like no because they've already canceled like a bunch of movies that are supposed to come out. I don't know if New Mutants was on the chopping block, but there's a lot of movies that Fox was going to put out. Disney said no, cut all that shit. They're done because they're tired of having Fox bringing out movies that are just flopping. And they're pretty much saying that like the movie division of Fox period going forward, they're just going to just cancel all that shit. And you probably seen your last Fox movie because Fox isn't really doing anything. They're going to make another Deadpool movie, but it'll be PG-13.
Yeah, it'll suck.
Ryan Reynolds will be, on a leash so they can put in China, they can make money, and that's how it goes from there. I'm trying to see, where's the movie that I saw come out? Okay, I'm going to just skip down. Number 13 is the movie I saw. Number 13 was The Kitchen.
Okay.
Now, it's a movie that nobody is paying attention to. Nobody seems to care about. It's pretty much a flop. It is by Warner Brothers. So, Eli, I'm going to let you go because I know you saw a movie.
You're going to let me go?
Yeah,
I didn't see The Kitchen.
You saw a movie.
You want me to talk about Bad Boys or Good Boys?
Good Boys.
Oh.
Because you actually saw a movie people gave a shit about.
Yeah, I saw Good Boys.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you talk about Good Boys, and then I'm gonna talk about The Kitchen and why should anybody listen to this podcast give a shit, two shits about The Kitchen,
All right. Well, yeah. So, Good Boys. It's basically what you said. It's super bad for like little kids.
Yeah.
They're like sixth graders, and one of them has a crush. They try to go to a party, and they get into all these misadventures along the way. It's very raunchy, R-rated humor. The movie is rated R. They swear up a storm. There's sex toys. There's sex dolls. There's a lot of potty humor. A lot of It's just a matter of time before the Guardian or Huffington Post, writes a think piece on how misogynistic this movie is. Which is why I loved it.
Oh, wait, because you're saying it was started, but they made a girl version of this movie. What was it? It came out a few months ago.
Bridesmaids?
No, not Bridesmaids. It was a teenage girl movie.
Oh, yeah. What was it called? I wanted Booksmart or something
Booksmart.
like that?
That's what they said. That was super bad for girls.
Yeah, and I wanted to see. I missed that. I wanted to see that too.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to check that out. But yeah, it was funny. Like my kid saw it. He was laughing his ass. We were both laughing our asses off.
I'm hearing it's funny. I'm hearing some people saying it's the funniest movie of the year.
It is. I was like, it is. Yeah, I was rolling. So if you're a fan of like South Park and all that, that dirty, raunchy humor, it's fun.
Yeah, and I think Seth Rogen made this too.
Yeah, it's
because he made Superbad.
Yeah, him and Evan Goldberg or whatever.
Yeah.
They produced it, but it basically follows the same plot is super bad. Like I said, they're trying to go to a party. One of the kids likes one of the girls there, and they want to figure out how to kiss, and then they're trying to get money because they fucked up the dad's drone, so and they end up skipping school, and it's just all these fucked up adventures along the way, but it has that same sort of theme about friendship, and friends get sort of getting older. You know what I mean? They're starting to become more mature. They're trying to be.
They hit puberty and all.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. They're trying to be. And it's funny just watching these kids trying to be more mature than they actually are and shit.
I'm hearing that a lot of the jokes are coming from because the kids, they're saying like this mature shit, but since they're so young, they don't really know what they're saying.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's one of them's into girls, the other one's into singing. He's part of the choir. The black kid's going. His parents. Oh man, the divorce scene when they're his parents are going through a divorce, and when they tell him, they're telling the kid it's the what's his face, the security guard from Get Out.
Lil Rel.
Yeah, him.
Lil, I might be fucking his name, but what are you talking about? Yeah.
And what's her name? Rita or whatever from Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I didn't see Parks and Rec, but Rashida Jones.
No. I forget her name. She's got one name, like Cher. I forget her name. Anyway, she's the mom, but those two together just telling their kid about the divorce. That shit was funny as hell. I was
wow. Okay.
But yeah, what's her name? Retta. Her name's Retta. She played Donna on Parks and Rec. And
I didn't watch Parks and Rec. I know I should have, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's funny than Friends, but
it is funny.
Right.
And so is this movie.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's if you like Superbad, if you like if you got a sense of fucking humor,
And what the world is trying to kill nowadays.
Yeah. If you have the balls and the or the pussy, whatever.
Right. Can't be gender specific.
I'm trying to be gender neutral here.
Are you trying to mansplain?
Yeah. If you have the strength to laugh, there you go. The strength to laugh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the world is a fucked up place full of injustice. But if you can find the strength to laugh, well, There you go. That's what we strive for.
Until Disney buys up this company also.
Yeah.
So enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
You fuckers wanted X-Men? Well, here's what you got.
Yeah. The next comedy movies are all going to be cat videos and shit.
Right. What did it cost? Everything.
Yeah. So yeah, Good Boys. Check it out. I give it a fucking 4 out of 5. 5 out of 5.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's funny. It's funny.
Okay. So the movie I saw was The Kitchen. And I know, why does anybody give a fuck about The Kitchen? Why did I review The Kitchen out of all this, especially on the comic book podcast? Well, newsflash. The Kitchen is based on a comic.
Yes.
Yep.
Vertigo, right?
Vertigo. Now, for those that don't know who Vertigo is, and hopefully you do since you listen to this podcast, we'll go by and say what it is. Vertigo is owned by DC, or was owned by DC. Rest in peace to Vertigo. Poor little looking for them because
say hello to Black Label.
Right, and that bullshit. But Vertigo brought us a bunch of adult oriented comic books that don't really deal with the superhero genre and really go a little bit deeper. And Vertigo, the Kitchen came from the Vertigo line, and it wasn't just them. That wasn't the only DC movie that came. The Vertigo movie that came to the movie theaters. The Losers was a Vertigo title.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep. The Red, it was Bruce Lee movie. It's a Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah, Red.
With a bunch of old people. That was also a Vertigo movie. It may be some other ones I'm missing also, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Technically, if you want to be technical, Constantine was a Vertigo movie, but we're not going to count that. I'm not going to count that. I hated that fucking movie. I know people say it's a cult classic. Movie sucked. It's just me.
It was I.
I'm gonna say it's all right. Let's put that in the Star Wars Will Smith. Yeah, but the reason I wanted to, because I wanted to, and I actually did read the comic over the weekend, so I decided to let me go on Comixology, buy the comic, read the comic before I go see the movie, just to kind of get a a difference between to see what I'm getting into. Read the comic. I thought the comic was fucking awesome.
Oh,
The
really?
comic was a straight up crime drama, but it was a mob. It was like, it read like a mob movie, with 3 Irish girls that took over the crime syndicate. And it was just like everything you expect to see out of like a Goodfellas. It was like a comic book version of Goodfellas, but with women.
Right.
The art kind of threw me off a little bit, because like I said, it's a comic, so you got to get used to the art. But then the art kind of reminded me of something. Okay, remember the loading screens from Grand Theft Auto?
The loading screens.
Yeah, whenever the screen loads up and you're about to start your mission, but it'll show a screen of like the kooky characters and the background.
Oh, yeah.
The art reminded me of that.
Okay.
So they all look like characters from Grand Theft Auto, but it was cool. So I enjoyed it. The ending was like super fucked up at the end. Like, it was so many twists and turns and people backstabbing, and it had sex and violence and guns and shooting and curse words. Like, I know it was interesting to read this from a comic. Like, most people don't listen to this podcast, think all we do is talk about superheroes and Bugs Bunny and shit like that. No, there are other shit to read in comic books than just that.
Yeah.
Like, you can read these same crime dramas that you wish you can get from a movie. You can get that from these comics also. So the movie, and the thing is, the comic read like a movie. Like, if you read the comic, you're like, well, damn, this is a movie script I'm reading right here. This guy just pretty much just wrote a screenplay and just made it in comic form. And that's what we have here. So we have a movie, and I'll be honest with you, the movie and the comic, it is not a direct adaptation.
Oh, okay.
There are some similarities. The first 2 acts, like, for instance, they may do different things how they get there, but they kind of hit the same beats. The third act, however, they pretty much threw that out the window. The third act is something completely different, which I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about that. Because one thing about it, I do want to, I'm not spoiling anything, because I want people to actually watch the movie, because if you haven't read the comic, you'll know what's about to happen in the movie, because everybody else is like, I can't wait for this shit to happen. But I was actually waiting for this shit to happen. I was like, okay, because in order to read the comic, it was fucked up. Some of the dialogue and some of the things they were saying and the scenes they were saying, like, and it was weird because even though the main girls, the 3 main girls in the movie, Melissa McCarthy, Tiffany Haddish, and Elizabeth Moss, they had different names than they did in the comics, but they were doing the same shit and acted the same way they were in the comics. That doesn't make any sense. Like, why didn't you just name them what they were in the comics?
Oh, really?
Because I think Melissa McCarthy had the same name, but I think Tiffany Haddish and Elizabeth Moss had 2 different names, but everything that they were doing in the comics, they were doing the same shit and saying the same shit and acting the same way. So it was just weird. The husbands had all the same names. So, like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, one thing I do want to make of an interesting point. Now, some people can say this movie was woke and being SJW, and it did have a feeling of that also. Like I said, I'm not spoiling the movie, I'm kind of giving an overall feel of it. Notice what I said when I read the comic, that the comic was about 3 Irish women that became crime bosses. Now, you can, just me saying that, you can tell the difference of what happened from the comic to the movie. They aren't all 3 Irish women.
Okay,
so, yeah. So Tiffany Haddish was a race change in the movie.
Really? She ain't Irish?
Sadly, she's not.
Not even metaphorically Irish? Like,
yeah, not even
Irish people are the black people of Europe or something.
Right. But yeah, she was black. And I was thinking, like, they are really downplaying this. 'Cause let's think about it. This is an Irish crime syndicate, and they're dealing with everybody. The Jews, they got their own crime syndicate. The Italians, the mafia, is dealing with the crime syndicate, and they have a black woman in the 70s in their room, and they didn't throw the N-word around at one time. I'm like, okay, is this not fiction? I was waiting for it to happen, but they didn't say it one time. But at the same time, the racism was still, heavily implied. It wasn't just straight out there, but the racism was there. And a couple times she would say there, I'm not going in the room with those guys. If I go in those rooms with those guys, they'll kill me, A couple times, because she got into it with her in-laws a couple times, but the worst they said is, oh, my husband get out of jail, he's going to kick your black ass out or something like that. That's about all they said. And another thing that they changed is that in the comics, Melissa McCarthy's character and Tiffany Haddish's character are sisters. And so they have this like really, really tight bond.
Wait, who's sisters?
Melissa McCarthy and Tiffany Haddish.
They're
Haddish.
like they're sisters.
In the comic. She's a
Oh,
white woman.
okay, in the
comic. She's a white woman in the comic, right?
Okay.
So their sisters grew up together, all the stuff like that. So the story is really about them. But of course, they're not sisters in the movie, you know. So they still try to carry that same arc. But at the same time, I do feel like as the movie went along, it played into Tiffany Haddish, you know, her race. Her race did play a part in the movie because you can't tell the same story.
No,
that you did.
No,
just the
no.
fact that you changed her race that eliminates some of the characters.
Especially the time of that time period in New York,
right?
And what the black and Puerto Rican gangs were doing at that time,
right? And here's the thing, like most people that don't even know what the kitchen is, they think it's probably like a cooking movie or something like that. No, this is a gangster movie. This is a mob movie. For those that don't know what's going on. Yeah. So
Daredevil. Anybody who's watched Daredevil, they know that the 5-block radius that.
Exactly. That's why they call it the kitchen. It's Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And the Irish in the 70s ran Hell's Kitchen. So that's what the whole movie was about. And they were trying to protect their block, make sure nobody invaded their block, but at the same time to expand past Hell's Kitchen. The comic dealt with all kind of stuff like remember that blackout in New York, like in the 78 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they was like in the middle of a crime war, and that shit happened, So it was you feel like you was in the time period of there, so they really captured that. The comic had a more kinetic energy to it. It was a lot more stakes, like it was like high stakes involved with it. Where the movie kind of took its time. Also, here's the thing that really got to me. The movie really, really played into the feminist agenda. I know I sound like a mansplaining, but if you watch the movie...
Oh, okay. No, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Okay, I'm just saying, you can tell that the movie is really, really leaning into the feminist agenda. They want you to know that these women are feminists. People will come up to them and say, I love what you're doing. You're doing this for all women. They keep talking about their plight, and they really want to make these women sympathetic. In the movie, in the comic, they're characterized very differently. Basically what it is, these women... They weren't trying to be feminist or anything like that. They were just trying to survive in a man's world because these criminals, in order to be respected in the crime world, you got to do shit that men are doing.
Yeah.
So in the comic, all these women were assholes. You were waiting for them to get their comeuppance, because all the dirty shit they were doing. But in the movie, they never were seen doing the same stuff they do in the comics. So it kind of make it hard to believe that why would anybody take these women seriously? Not, they don't seem kind of fucked up. But in the comics, they just went all out. You're like, okay, yeah, you got to take these women seriously, because they didn't want Melissa McCarthy, to mess up her image, because if Melissa McCarthy would have really did the shit that they were doing in the comics, people would be talking about this movie. This movie would have got buzzed.
Then it would have been awesome.
It would have been fucking awesome. You're like, did you see? Melissa McCarthy was crazy as fuck in this movie. That's what people would have been talking about. It would have made this movie step up to the next level.
If they made her like Blanca or whatever, that woman from Miami and shit.
Yeah, or she was like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
If she was doing some shit like that, then you was like, whoa, what the fuck Melissa McCarthy was doing,
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm talking about. That's why, movies are so watered down these days. They're
it really
afraid.
Is.
Yeah,
it really is.
And that's why I've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood so many times, because there's a movie that isn't afraid to just show you shit.
Right.
Just throw it on the screen and then let you figure out what you think of it. Instead of telling people racism is bad, sexism is bad, violence is like all. It's like they're trying to tell you how to feel about it, and tell you how to think about it. Where, a good movie will just let you figure it out on your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they never want you to feel for a second that, okay, because these women, like, let's just take everything away. These women are criminals. They do fucked up shit, but the movie tries to go out of its way to make you still feel sympathetic for criminals.
Yeah, glamorize gangsters and shit. Yeah.
Right, they glamorize shit like that. With a comic, they didn't did it. They pulled no punches.
Yeah.
All the fucked up shit the men were doing, they were doing the same shit. Probably even worse. Some of that shit was even more fucked up they were doing in the comic. All that shit was taken out in this, and they were trying to be sympathetic and make you, this is the woman's plight. They're trying to make it, all for womanhood, even though they're still criminals, everything they did, every fucked up thing they did, you still felt like, well, that person had it coming to them. Well, that person deserved it. Or, well, they're just trying to get their piece of the pie. You know, you still feel for them in the end. And I felt like people are saying that the movie, like, people were saying when I went on Twitter, like, oh, this movie is like really gruesome. This movie is violent. I was like, actually, what hurt the movie is that it should have actually been more gruesome and been more violent.
And that's what Anthony was saying, because he saw it. And he was saying if they would have just pushed it more, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, but, they should have pushed the envelope. The women didn't get their hands dirty.
Yeah. And that's like sexist in itself. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, like I want to see a woman pull a Luca Brasi and chainsaw a motherfucker up, and get rid of a body. I want to see that shit.
Right, like Tony Montana. We knew he was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't sympathize with him. We knew he was a fucked up individual.
Yeah.
And that's how they should have took that's how the way these women should have been. If you wanted, like, it's just like you said, if you want the women to be treated like equally in a gangster movie, they should be treated like gangsters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, I'm gonna just give my rating. I still feel like people should still go out and see the movie. It still has some cool twists and turns in it. Yeah. Melissa McCarthy actually did pretty good. Like Tiffany Haddish. I don't really know too much about Tiffany Haddish, even though, you know, I'm super happy for her. Anytime a black woman is in Hollywood making a name for herself, I'm gonna applaud that shit. That being said, I'm not really too familiar with anything she's done. I don't watch those Tyler Perry movies she's in. I haven't seen Girls Trip. So whatever sex thing they have going on with the grapefruit, I have no idea what that is. I've never had it done to me. I'm sorry. But a lot of people know about that thing. So I don't really know about what Tiffany Haddish does. I've seen it in interviews, and she seems like a character. You know, I'm going to just say it. She seems like a minstrel show from what I've seen on these interviews that she's doing. I'm like, she got to tone that shit down some. This, she played like a human being. You know, that's all I asked for.
Yeah.
You know, the other girl, she was cool.
So what's your rating?
3 out of 5.
Okay. Well, I thought it looked good. Like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, holy shit, that's right up my alley. Because I love gangster movies. Right. I love Scorsese. I grew up on The Godfather and shit. I grew up in New York. So I love all that shit. So it looked like right up my alley. Especially set in the 70s. I'm like, hell yeah. Right. You know, so I really
in the 70s, in New York, in Hell's Kitchen, with rival gangs, all that. Like I said, if they'd have kept it like the comic, Eli, people would be talking about this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just like they got a first-time director. You could tell she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. It felt like it was shot like a TV show a lot of times. It's like, this shit feels like amateur hour, man. Even with the source material you have, the source material is gold. You're not executing the way it should be.
Yeah.
It's lost in translation.
They're trying to cater to the woke generation.
Exactly, because they don't want you to feel bad for women, because you got
a gangster movie for the woke generation. Yeah, that's an oxymoron.
Right, that's the world we live in now. Because we've seen every gangster movie we've ever seen. Everybody in there is racist as fuck.
Yeah,
sexist as fuck.
And violent and just assholes. They're overgrown.
But that's what we expect to see.
Yeah, they're overgrown punks, but that's what they're
like man children, basically.
Yeah. You know, fucking, yeah, so, but you know what I saw the other night?
What's that?
That I can't believe, I wish I saw this in the theater. Widows.
That's the movie I was thinking about. I think that's the only reason this movie got greenlit, because of Widows.
Yeah. I feel bad for sleeping on this fucking movie. Holy shit. I heard
Widows was a good movie.
It's fucking great. I might have to add this to my collection. I was like, it just came on TV, and I was just like, hey, I haven't seen this. And since I didn't see The Kitchen yet, I'll check this out. Thinking it was going to be, you know. But this movie, it's like dark as fuck. And yes, they're women. It's like Heat. Or, you know, or kind of like Jackie Brown and like meets The Godfather. You know, a lot of wheeling and dealing and shit. But they're, you know, these women, their husbands were like thieves, professional thieves. And they get killed. And then they owe that, but they, you know, the money that they stole, you know, was from a gangster. So now their wives, they come after their wives to get the money back. So they have to, like, you know,
Eli, that's damn near the same plot.
Yeah, and they have to rob. They basically come together to rob this other, you know, to do this, you know, robbery to pay back the gangster and shit. And I was like, holy shit, this movie, it's like really dark, and it doesn't shove the feminist agenda down your throat. These are just women in a fucked up situation, and they just deal with it. You know what I mean? And Viola Davis, holy fuck. If you thought she was badass in Suicide Squad.
This is the movie series, okay.
Yeah, she's like, no nonsense, like, we gotta do this shit or we're dead. You know, quit your bitching, quit your whining, you know, quit your crying. Like, one woman's like a mail order bride, you know, and her husband, you know, John Bernthal was her husband. You know. But yeah, it was like really good. I mean, there's not a lot of action, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of like them wheeling and dealing and plotting and shit. And then the corrupt gangster and shit. It's, you know, he's running for office, and it really gets into like corruption of city officials and how everything is involved, and a lot of twists and turns and shit. And I was like, oh, holy shit, you know. So yeah, Widows, go check that out.
Yeah, go watch Widows. That sounds like a much, much better movie. It sounds like The Kitchen was only greenlit because of Widows.
Yeah.
They're like, what do we have like Widows? The Kitchen, put that shit on. Like I said, Widows is not, Kitchen is not even a bad movie. I think if you watch the movie, you would be entertained, but it's nothing you just got to just flock to go see or shit like that.
No, I was like really surprised with Widows. Like, holy shit, that was like the coolest crime drama I've seen like in a while. You know what I mean? It was like like I'm saying, it's refreshing to see a really good, you know, really well made movie. That's not a comic book movie or a franchise or whatever. It's just a straight up, not based on a book or anything. It's just a straight up movie, original movie, you know, dealing with dark crime shit and not really pulling any punches or anything. The dude from Get Out is in it. He plays a gangster and shit. He's all ill.
and guess what, Eli?
Yeah. That
movie flopped.
I'm sure it did. Because it doesn't spoon feed the audience.
Right.
You know, it requires an audience's attention. They can't be on their phone flipping
like, man,
this
is.
Yeah. And it is very woke. You know, there's so much commentary on like classism and the one politician's trying to like, you know, go into the lower income neighborhoods and try to make a difference, even though he's dealing with the gangsters and shit. You know, he's trying to get votes and shit. It deals with the whole corrupt system, you know.
So yeah, I gotta check out Widows. I gotta see that.
It's dope. I was like, hey, holy shit! I texted my brother, hey man, you see this? He's like, yeah man, I got it. I was like, oh shit! I can't believe I slept on this movie.
All right, so let's go to a movie that we both saw.
All right,
and we're gonna stick with DC.
All
right. So, like I said, we saw Vertigo. Well, I saw Vertigo, The Kitchen, but now we saw another movie that actually was officially released on physical media this week, and it was also released on DC Universe. So I got a chance to check it, and that is Batman Hush.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those that don't know, Batman Hush is a Batman story that is adapted, which both Eli and I listed our top Batman comic stories of all time, it was on both of our lists.
Yeah.
So Hush is very high on our list also. So Hush is a very highly regarded comic. And we know with these DC adaptations, they kind of hit or miss, you know. Are we going to get The Dark Knight Returns, which is awesome, or are we going to get The Killing Joke, which is awful? You know. Eli, you go first. Let me give you an opinion on what you thought about Hush.
I thought it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the thing about the Hush comic is it was written to showcase Jim Lee, in his art, you know. So now that is taken away, and this is just an adaptation, it's just an animated movie, I think the story isn't as strong as an animation, as a movie, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know? So that's what I've noticed I found missing from that. I mean, they still deal with plots, you know, you still got the Superman thing and Poison Ivy, you know, controlling everybody.
Like Hush greatest hits.
Yeah, you still got some of that. They do change who Hush is at the end, you know, just to keep us people who did read the comic to throw us off, you know.
Right.
But you know, I thought it was okay. You know, I it was unnecessary. I thought, you know what I mean? Unless they were going to like really, had they really stylized the animation? You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. They keep doing the same animation like on all these ones, and it feels like each movie animation gets stiffer and stiffer.
Yeah, it's just it looks like every other DC animated movie. Like, had they stylized it and got like an anime studio or really like found an animation that really fit the tone of the book, you know, the fit the tone of Jim Lee's arc. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like really like stylize the action sequences and, you know, really make it visually stunning, because that's what made the book so cool. Because it was Jim Lee's. We were finally get to see Jim Lee draw Batman, and basically everybody in DC
redesign everybody.
Yeah, like, oh my God, Jim Lee's drawing Superman and the Joker and Harley Quinn and blah blah blah, you know, and Catwoman. It was like, let's let that, and the story unfolded. So oh shit, Superman's in this one, and like, whoa, Jim Lee's version of Superman. You know, so that's what made that story so cool. You know, was the arc, and this just it's just not as strong as a story without that visual, you know, dynamics. I thought it was all right.
Okay. My thoughts on it, pretty much what you said. Like I said, Hush, the original story of Hush was a 12-issue storyline. So it took its time. It was a slow burn. It was made to be a story that, you know, went over time. This one, everything was crammed into it.
Yeah.
So even though it did hit like the major points of what the story did, it just felt like it was just like they hit it so fast and didn't have time to like really stick with you.
Yeah, because it was a mystery. It was like a whodunit, you know.
Right. You know, and they did, like I said, in the cartoon, they changed up who Hush was when, you know, they kept showing, even though Thomas Elliott was in it, but in this he's just a red herring. They want you to think it's him so they can say it was somebody else. And I've been on Facebook and I've been on Twitter. People hate the ending because it's changed. Changing something doesn't mean it's worse. You gotta actually explain why it comes worse. You just can't say, oh, they changed it, so it sucks. No, it doesn't work like that. You gotta explain why it sucks. Because sometimes when you change stuff, sometimes it's let it remove. Sometimes it doesn't change anything. Sometimes it make things better. How I feel about this actually goes in line more with the story of the comic, because people misconstrue the actual ending of the comic. Okay, I'm spoiling Hush for anybody who hasn't seen this, so if you haven't seen it, cut it off and cut it back on in like 5 minutes, something like that. The killer in Hush is no longer Thomas Elliott, it's the Riddler. But here's the thing. Riddler in the comic was always the mastermind. He was always the guy behind Hush. Mm-hmm. He's the one that recruited Thomas Elliott. He's the one that recruited all the bad guys, you know, to get under one team. He set everything up, and the main reason he did it because he wanted the people to stop thinking he was a C-lister. You know, so that's why he wanted to play behind the shadows, stuff like that, and move pieces like a puzzle. So only thing that really changed up is that at the ending, the Riddler became, instead of just the mastermind behind everything, he became the soldier villain that actually, you know, fought Batman at the end, where he didn't fight Batman in that one. That was actually Thomas Elliott fighting Batman, you know. But Hush in the original story wasn't one guy. Hush was actually the collective of them. Because when I think I read like an interview or something like that, like you saw like Hush's trench coat, and even his mask sometimes, like all of the villains that Batman fought in, that was wearing that trench coat at one time.
Oh, yeah,
because it was all a secret to them, which is why they called their group Hush, because it was a secret. Nobody talked about it. But Riddler was always the mastermind behind it. So it was actually, that's why I didn't mind the twist so much, because like, oh, the point that the story was trying to make sure, I think, got jumbled up with all kind of retcons. And the next story, which it was firmly established that Hush is a guy, you know, I think that got kind of lost in translation also, where they were always trying to make Riddler to be the mastermind behind everything, and now the cartoon shows that. And people hate that because they missed the point of the original story.
Yeah.
You know. Also, what else I like about it? Oh, the Batman and Catwoman storyline is kind of ramped up a little bit. Even though it was always there, it's ramped up. It's at Tom King's level now. It feels very Tom King-ish, you know. But I liked it, and I think the ending of what broke them up, I liked it better than I did in the comics. Because in the comic, Batman broke up with it because he think Hush had been fucking with his mind so much, he was thinking like maybe he manipulated me to let myself into Catwoman. But in the movie, it made more sense than just the fact that their code about how to go about, you know, fighting crime and what their relationship and miscommunication, that's what broke them up. You know, Catwoman basically said, "No, Bruce, you're crazy. You did all this to save this guy who killed your best friend, almost killed Nightwing, kidnapped and almost killed your girlfriend, and you still try to save him, even though it would have ended up killing both of you."
Yeah, that was a good twist. I actually did enjoy that scene.
And that's the thing about it. Like watching Hush, like, okay, the first 2 acts of this movie bored me because I've already read this. I've already know where the story is going. So all you're doing is just checking boxes. You just,
And with the cool art not being there, why should you give a shit?
Right. It's like a less, it's like a more shittier version of the shit I've already read. The Batman Superman fight was way better in the comics than it was in the movie because they left out a whole bunch of shit. Batman like really prepped for his ass. He had like stun bombs and all kind of shit waiting for his ass when Superman came down there. And at the end of the day, that shit didn't even phase Superman. That's like, oh damn, I'm doing all this shit. It's not even working. It made this, the fight more tense. That's actually, in my opinion, the best Batman Superman fight of all time. And the movie just ran through it. It's like, whatever. But the third act of this movie actually caught my attention because they did change the stuff. Okay, this ain't the same stuff that I thought I was gonna see. This is actually, interesting. I'm actually seeing a new story. So I actually appreciated that they changed. Because if they had kept it exactly how it was in the comic and just went beat for beat for beat, I probably would have been bored the whole time. But the third act actually caught my attention. That made me sit up on my seat like, oh, okay. See what's going to happen.
I didn't really mind the change. I mean, I kind of figured they were going to do that anyways. I didn't mind it. But to me, like I said,
people are hating the change.
Yeah.
They're saying the third act fucked up the whole movie.
Oh, no, it was just the movie fucked up the movie.
Right.
Like I said, for me, it was just the same old animation,
And I agree with you on that. It does feel like the animation getting cheaper and cheaper on these DCU movies. When you first watched when they first came out, it felt like they were doing something. They really spending money on these. Now it's just like another episode of Young Justice.
Well, yeah, American anime is all. It was almost like American style, visuals, but with an animation or the anime style. You know what I mean? Now it's just,
they're cutting the budget on these movies. You can tell.
Yeah, and I just was just kind of bored. Yeah, I was bored for most of the movie. I did laugh when Harley Quinn made me laugh. I thought that she comes out. Rico. She comes out and like hits the opera sing on the head with a hammer. I just thought that was so outrageous and stupid that I laughed.
I also laughed when Batman was getting beat up by Clayface and Joker was right next to him.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any other villains other than me? How long is it going on? You gonna let him talk to me like that, Batman? I thought that shit was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So they had some cool shit in there. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. I'm gonna give it better than The Kitchen.
I'll give it a 3. It doesn't get a 0.5 for me.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 just because the ending. I'm gonna give it because it did switch up the ending and it made it a little bit more interesting for me. But everything you said, I do agree. The animation is getting cheaper and cheaper, and you can tell. And it's not for a story like this, and that's what really hurt The Killing Joke also, because The Killing Joke, what made that story was Brian Bolland's art. Yeah. Every single panel on that was damn near a splash page. You can just take that and make it a poster. But you had that half-ass Bruce Timm animation. It just made it a standard story, which it doesn't serve. And the same thing with Hush. The half-ass animation makes it a standard story.
And this whole R-rated thing, where it's like it's supposed to be R-rated, it's turning into another Black Label. Like, why is it R? Because they dropped.
Was it R? I didn't know it was R.
They dropped a couple of swear words, but like I said, I seen Heavy Metal when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So that's R-rated animation.
They're not gonna do.
Yeah, until DC starts dropping tits and Batwang, I don't give a shit. don't try to R-rated. Yeah, Killing Joke R-rated. I'm like, that ain't shit.
Yeah, they really hyped it up, but it was like it really wasn't even anything that you normally do.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. Moving past that. Do you want to talk about this Moz guy now?
Oh, Mouse.
Mouse? Yeah.
Art speed. Well, I'll just run through the article that just came up.
Yeah, I'll let you get it because I'm not really too familiar about what's going on with this.
So, let's see. I got to pull it up now. Damn it. Sorry. The window closed. But basically, Art Spiegelman, he drew Mouse. That it's a graphic novel that kind of based on his father's escaping in Nazi Germany or whatever. And Mouse is a graphic novel where mice are basically the Jews, the Jewish people, and then the Nazis are cats. So it's like a Pulitzer Prize winning graphic novel. Like it's one of the greatest graphic novels, like known to be greatest. I actually own a copy. Yes, it's pretty good. But I guess Marvel was releasing a book, like a collection of comics called Marvel: The Golden Age, 1939 to 1949. And Art Spiegelman was supposed to write the introduction to this book, and he did. He wrote an introduction, but then he was like talking about how back then in the Golden Age, the 30s and 40s, how the guys running Marvel were all a bunch of Jewish guys, sort of lashing out at the Hitler and Nazis, and that's why Captain America was born, fighting the Red Skull and stuff. And I guess at one point in the introduction, he referred to he just called America is now dealing with an orange skull.
Oh, okay.
So basically, they decided wanted him to change it, to take that part out. And Art Spiegelman was like, no, I ain't changing it. And so he ended up just, no, don't use it at all. So he dropped out of the whole thing at all. He's not even doing the introduction now. So, and then Marvel Comics released a statement saying that they want to remain apolitical. And
shit.
Yeah. So, but as it turns out, the guy who Marvel chairman Isaac Perlmutter or whatever his name is, he's like a big friend of Trump. And
He was he put millions in Trump's campaign.
Yeah, he's donated to Trump. He's like friends with them and shit. So this just sort of kind of pulls back the curtain a bit.
That's the thing.
Yeah, Marvel Comics and their Marvel Comics. This is the comics. This isn't the MCU. But
right. I know everybody wants to hear about the movies and TVs, and we're talking about the comics, so don't get too excited.
Yeah. So, yeah. I just, like I said, pulling back the curtains a bit, and yeah.
And this thing about trying to stay apolitical, bullshit. There's no such thing as apolitical.
Yeah.
Period. Every action is a political action. Every non-action is a political action.
Yeah.
Whether you do something, you don't do something. There's no such thing as fence writing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you're taking an action. You're taking a stand on something.
Yeah.
So
They're trying to remain apolitical. Says the comic company that released a Mockingbird comic would ask me about my feminist agenda on the cover.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Marvel is gun shy now. Yes, you remember that was a couple years ago. They did the Mockingbird thing, asked me my feminist agenda. They've even done comics where Red Skull was acting like Trump. He was saying Trump lines.
Mm-hmm.
He was recruiting Hydra members saying Trump shit.
You got Black Panther.
So they've done this before.
Yeah, Captain America written by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Right.
The whole Hydra thing. Yeah, Hydra as as the right. They're basically comparing them to the right.
Look, we know what it is, Eli. It's the comics gators. They got them scared. People act like the comics gators don't have any control over Marvel, but they do. That's why they're scared to do anything that could seem to be SJW, or woke. They're not doing that shit anymore. There are no, they did the girl Thor and the black Captain America and all stuff like that. Everybody went back to normal because they pissed off the comics gators. And the same thing with this. They're not going to piss off any conservatives because they realize that their fan base is a lot of conservatives. So why piss off your fan base?
Yeah.
And so that's why they're going back to being, we're not going to piss off Trump. And just like you said, Ike Perlmutter has put millions into Trump's campaign. So of course he's going to put a stop to this shit. He's not going to let them talk about his buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen. And it's just like, it's just like you said, they're peeling back the curtains of Marvel about what's going on because what's the guy named Army Hammer?
Yeah.
Okay. Fun fact: Army Hammer is actually related to the guy that created the Arm & Hammer thing, baking soda.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He's over the Empire. Yeah. or he's not over the Empire, and they just named it whatever. Anyway, he was gonna be Batman, but he wasn't. So he came out and he said that it's a hypocrisy on it. He's saying that we all need to boycott Marvel or cancel Marvel or like that because Ike Perlmutter has put all these millions into Trump's campaign, stuff like that. And then I was just thinking about all the time, like, that is true. Now, you got the Marvel actors. Samuel Jackson has been going at Trump all the time. The Hulk actor, Chris Evans, all these guys, they're always saying fucked up shit about Trump. But you never hear him say anything about Perlmutter. Even though they know the dirty shit he does. They're quiet. They're quiet as a church mouse against him. They always focus on one thing, but they'll focus on the system that created Trump. Yeah. They're very laser focused on what they're doing. It's just like they know where to bark. And that's it. They bark in one direction, that's it. They know not to bark in any other direction. It's like it's very weird. It is pulling back the curtain on about what's going on. So am I gonna boycott Marvel or cancel Marvel? No, I'm not gonna cancel Marvel for this shit. I'm not gonna cancel anything because of somebody's political view. Do you know how much shit I have to give up if I did that shit?
Oh yeah. The cancel culture is bullshit.
It is bullshit. Like, calm down with this shit, man. Yeah. Like, let people believe what they want to believe. Let people like whatever they want to like. Yeah. It's whatever.
Like I said, the world sucks. It's full of injustices. But we have to find the strength to laugh and smile. Right. And if you fucking get happiness from a fucking comic book, then fucking read it and smile. God damn it.
I mean, Eli, what do I look like boycotting Black Panther? Black Panther is Marvel.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's going to cancel Marvel.
Nobody's going to cancel Marvel. Yeah. I like Black Panthers 2 coming later. You're going to no, I'm boycotting it. I'm woke. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Yeah, you're not going to cancel Chris Hemsworth. Right. Motherfucker dressing up in a headdress and red face, posting on Twitter and shit. You ain't going to fucking do that. You ain't going to cancel Iron Man. Fucking Robert Downey Jr. in blackface and Tropical Thunder. You ain't going to do that.
I almost feel bad, man, because I was laughing my ass off at that shit. I shouldn't be laughing at this.
Do that shit now. Oh my god, but it's
too woke.
It's selective outrage. It's bullshit, you know.
Right, they pick and choose where they want to get mad at, who they want to get mad at, let other people slide. So,
and then if you ain't mad like they are, then they're mad at you, and you ain't broke, and you're racist now, or whatever.
So, no, I'm not going to cancel Black Panther. You can cancel that shit right now.
Hell no. I ain't fucking... Absolute Carnage was fucking awesome.
Right. So we have to leave Absolute Carnage alone because of some one asshole. Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah. That motherfucker, yeah, he might have gave Trump some money, but he's also paying Donnie Cates to write the shit.
Right. Like, you can't let one little thing rule your life. I mean, it's almost like if you basically just live your life. That's all.
Yeah.
Live your life. Enjoy the shit you want to enjoy. Don't worry about letting, political things, stuff like that. Now, if a motherfucker try to put babies and shit and then he want to, sell me a comic, that's where I draw the line. I got to draw the line somewhere.
It's sad because that's probably, him and Trump probably do that shit.
Until there's actual proof.
On the Epstein's Island.
Oh shit! Okay. Are we going there?
No. Sorry.
Because I didn't even think about it until you connected the dots. So. Look, he committed suicide. They came out and said it. Epstein committed suicide. Yes, he strangled the shit out of himself with broken bones. It happens. Yes. And all of the guards were asleep at the time? Yes.
Hey, Frankie Five Angels. You'll be all right.
They all slept at the same time.
It was so funny. Like, I watched that clip from The Godfather Part 2, and the scene where Tom Hagen goes to Frankie Five Angels in prison and basically suggests that he kills himself and that his family will be taken care of. Like, I went and watched that scene like a day or two after that shit happened, and then I started reading the comments on the YouTube video. Epstein's suicide brought me here. Like a bunch of people were like, "Yeah, this is."
Oh wow!
You're gonna be all right, man. Yeah.
I hate that we had to go this way. Because people were like, people were shocked that Epstein committed suicide. You know who else was shocked? Epstein.
Whenever a plot against the emperors failed, the plotters were given a chance to make amends.
Right.
Not a bad deal, Frankie.
I didn't want to go there, but I was eventually. I knew we were going to eventually work our way there some kind of way because that is kind of fucked up. But yeah.
Hey, gangster. We've been talking about gangster movies.
Right. We're talking about gangster movies all day. So yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway, Epstein, fuck that guy.
You think Trump, a guy who made his real estate earnings in the 80s in New York, you think he wasn't mobbed up? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, exactly.
Real estate in the 80s in New York? Shit.
I mean, if they make a life story about this dude right now, his presidential campaign is going to be a gangster movie.
Duh.
It's going to be the same thing. They're using the same fucking tactics. Hell, he's got ties with the Russian mob. Fuck. What are we talking about? Oh, video games.
Are we? Okay, yeah, let's talk about video.
Let's talk about video games. All right, so, let's talk about the video games section. Not too much happened in the video games section. I think something did happen, what I'm gonna mention to. Okay, here's some fucked up shit. Remember that boy, and I'm gonna say boy because he's like 16 or some shit like that. The one that won the Fortnite contest for $5 million, $6 million, something like that.
Okay, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this week he got swatted.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. For those that don't know what swatted means, it's a very dumb thing that people are doing right now. It's going to fuck around and get somebody killed. But what they'll do is that while people are Twitch streaming, somebody will call the SWAT team or the police on them, kicking, saying they're kidnapped, tied up, somebody's dead, somebody's smoking weed, whatever. So while in the middle of their Twitch stream, the police will kick in their door. And they think the shit is funny or whatever like that. How do they get that address? And phone number and name and all stuff like that, who knows? It's the internet. You can find anything out nowadays. Yeah, shoot. Let me stop talking before we get swatted. What else were we going to talk about? Oh, one more thing. September, we got the Sega Genesis turns 30 years old, and they're coming out with one of those little mini consoles.
Did they already come out with them? I thought I seen some.
It was unofficial.
Really? I saw them at the dollar store, at Family Dollar.
Right, but it wasn't made by them.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, like Nintendo made an official one, PlayStation made an official one, but Sega never made an official one. It was always a third party making those, with ROMs, sticking them and stuff like that. So now Sega's making an official one and release them like that. And I'm going to tell people over and over and over again, don't buy this shit. You're just wasting money. It's just nostalgia purposes. Don't do it. These same exact games are already on every single system. They're selling them right now. I bought them for my computer.
Can I play original Mario Brothers? Not Super. Original Mario Brothers.
You mean the one where they were in the subway in the tunnel and stuff?
Yeah, and they got to knock the turtles and crabs off the pipes. Can I play that on my PS4?
Well, no.
Well, then I got to get me one of them things.
Okay, well, that's beautiful. But, like I said, all these Sega games like Sonic and all this shit like that, the same games, you can play on the PS4.
Okay.
So that's what, okay. So the Nintendo thing, I'll let Nintendo slide. You want to buy Nintendo thing, buy Nintendo thing. The PlayStation, don't buy that bullshit, because that shit barely even work. The Sega thing, don't buy that, because they already released these games in a software pack.
Yeah, it's like $20 for like a bunch of like old school games and shit.
I bought it for like 10 or some shit like that. It's the same games, all the Sonic games, all the Streets of Rage games, all the Phantasy Star games, stuff like that. They're all there, so you don't have to spend extra money on this stuff to buy something you can just get right now on every single system. Hell, I think even on your cell phone. So yeah, but I'm talking to a wall. People can go out and buy this shit anyway. It's going to be the hottest item during Christmas time. They're going to be sold out. Nobody's going to buy it.
Black Friday, people be beating the shit out of each other for them.
For some shit that the kids don't even know what the fuck it is. Like, what is this?
Sonic the Hedgehog. Is that shitty movie? Sonic? That shitty ass movie?
You're right. The one that gave me nightmares when I saw the trailer. So, good old blast processing. Okay. Can we actually move to the actual next part of the podcast now?
Yeah, you're going to talk about X-Men, aren't you?
I'm going to talk about X-Men. Now we're going to talk about comic books. I know we talk about every single thing except comic books, but now the Comic Bully Podcast, we're going to talk about comic books. And we're going to dig into it as much as I can remember.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is review Powers of 10.
Sounds
Number 2.
awesome.
Yeah. Eli, you're gonna have to help me out. My memory's kind of fading in and out on this book because there's so much to congest.
Damn
But
it.
I'm gonna carry the heavy lifting as much as I can on this one. So the book starts off with Moria McTaggart and Professor X going to the Bermuda Triangle to, is it Asteroid M or something M? Whatever. Magneto's hunt.
Island M.
Island M. That's what it was. Yeah, Magneto's place. They're at Magneto's place. Professor X is like, look, I just had a conversation with Moria McTaggart. And Magneto's like, what are you doing here, Charles? We're not doing this again. Get the fuck off my island because I'm not joining your X-Men or your dream, anything like that. And I know damn well you're not going to join my dream. He was like, look, Magneto, we've been going about this the wrong way. Matter of fact, I'm going to connect my mind with Moria so she can show you the shit that she showed me to show you. And Magneto's like, okay, Charles, if there's a trick, if you're playing with me, we're going to have some problems. Like, look, just take your helmet off and let's interact. So Magneto takes his helmet off, and then he reacts. He instantly sees all Moria's past 10 lives, and it hits him like instantly. And he's like, "Oh shit! So you're a mutant the whole time?" Like, yeah, I just didn't tell anybody. So basically, what Professor X is telling Magneto, he's like, "Look, all I know is that every single scenario in every single life she has, we lose every single one. And the reason we lose is because we are apart. We need to do this together. We need to come together." My view of what mutants need to do is fucked up, and I lose. Your view of mutants is fucked up, and you lose. So we need to find some kind of common ground, some middle ground, and meet because together we can survive this. And Magneto's like, look, if I join this, there's gonna be some rules. I'm not your yes man. I'm not your do boy. If I see something going south and I don't like it, I'm gonna let you know. And that's how it's going to end. Professor X puts his hand like, well, I wouldn't have it any other way. So shakes his hand. That's it. 10 years later. Let's move on. So Professor X has gotten that hard drive from Mystique in the last 2-3 issues, something like that, and finds out what it is. So apparently he has found out that Orchis exists, and he finds out what they're doing. They have a satellite over by the sun, and I was mistaken last time when I reviewed this. I said that they were building a master mold. They're not building a master mold. They're building a mother mold. A mother mold makes master molds, and master molds make sentinels. So he calls in Cyclops. He was like, Cyclops, you need to get your team because the humans are out there building sentinels, and they're coming in there and gonna fuck us up again. And Cyclops like, it's sentinels. We beat sentinels all the time. If they send us some more, we just shoot them down. We're like, Magneto's like, no, because we're looking at the technology they're using to build a sentinel. Something is not right here. We think this is when they build Nimrod. And it's like,
and they're orbiting the sun, right?
And they're orbiting the sun. They're like, oh shit. And it's like, so Vince like, so Cyclops, I need you to get a team together, go to the sun, fight the humans, destroy their Sentinel base, and make sure nobody knows about it. So I'm like, okay, cool, no big deal. You're like, okay. So fast forward 100 years later.
So stay tuned for that comic.
Right, because it's little 4 itty bitty parts there. This is where the more I go on, the more I start losing, like, what the fuck happened in these books. Yeah. But anyway, we get to Rasputin and Cardinal. They're talking to Wolverine, and they're talking Magneto.
This is 100 years later. Year 100.
100 years later, yeah. And I think it's not even Groot. I think it's Cypher or somebody, whatever that plant guy was. And Scorn, Zorn, Korn, Torn, whatever that dude's name is.
Zorn,
that weird X-Men skull looking dude. Okay. And Wolverine's like, boss, so what are we going to do? We found out the information. We can't get back in there because the mutant that we had that can hide us from technology, they killed him or her or whatever the fucking name is. And then the boss like, well, don't worry about it. I'll handle that. And then you pan out, and it's Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. So apparently we've been talking to the 4 horsemen the whole time. You know, and Apocalypse basically like saying, we need to get back in that base because we got to get some very specific information to find out what the fuck's going on. And don't worry, you're not, even though that the mutant we had doesn't exist anymore because they killed him, you're not going to lose this mission because I'm coming with you. So, Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen going to war with Nimrod and whatever's going with that. Fast forward 1,000 years. I have no fucking idea what happened here. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to try.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, isn't it this, what's this chick's name?
I thought it was a dude.
or whatever, this mutant.
I mean, it's a
the librarian or something.
Genders look on the map.
So the librarian or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and she wants to be, or they want to be.
They have the Nimbus or something, and the what do they call the platypus?
No, the Felix.
Yeah, them.
Yeah.
They come and they're like...
was it me or did it look like Galactus was a Felix?
I might have read it. It looked like some sort of celestial. They're coming and they're saying, we want to ascend. So basically the...
Okay, this was going on. So they have notes in the back. They have a manual.
Yeah, you got to refer to this shit. So Nimrod is an intelligence now, right? He's just...
Well, no, because the intelligence is like, okay, the machine is one person. The intelligence is like 100 people. The fate is like 1,000 people. But the colony...
But don't they want to upload Nimrod into the phalanx or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, so they can all be...
ascend. So they're all... yeah.
What the... Like, why do you write this shit, man? Like, who the fuck will understand what the fuck going on with this?
Yeah.
Like, why should I even care? It feel like just unnecessary shit he's just telling.
Yeah. Because this is 1,000 years. This is 1,000 years after the shit we give a shit about.
Right. So why should we even care what the fuck is going on with the Felix and the machines and Nimrod the Lesser and this boy-girl thing? Like, what the fuck? I don't even know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are. I don't know who they're fighting.
The world mind. Yeah. Something.
Yeah, the world mind is like 100 people. The Felix is like 1,000 people. I don't have it in front of me. I'm just like spitballing right now.
But, yeah. What do you seek? Ascension. So basically, the librarian wants to upload her consciousness or the consciousness, whatever the fuck, the eye, the intelligence, whatever the fuck, the world mind. I don't know which one. Whatever the one she is.
Fuck?
Into the phalanx. So they can be.
Any of this have to do with the main story?
Way more powerful. Yeah. And I don't know.
That's the thing that loses me. Okay, now Eli, I know what you. I know you said you about to get off this train. I know you said this is where it stops. This is where it stops. This is it. Here's my thing about how I feel about this right now. The House of X is actually a straightforward read, which is actually easy to comprehend. Yeah. It's this powers of 10 bullshit that gets on my fucking nerves. Yeah. And it's not even the whole story. It's just these last two stories. Like the first two where they begin and where they're like in the regular universe, that's cool. Even though it's like a little bit of portion. Third one, when they go to the future, it's kind of weird, but I'm like, I can fuck with it. It's okay. But when they go 1,000 years in the future with that other ascension bullshit, I'm just like, man, just cut this shit. That's what I'm ready for the book just in.
Yeah. It's like you're skipping over all the cool shit that I would like to see.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't even have a narrative. It doesn't even have like a flowing narrative to it. It's just hopping, this time hopping bullshit, which never works in any story ever. When you just time hop all over the fucking place. And I don't know why he think this shit is cool. He's just loving this shit. And then he got all these fucking detailed notes at the end. This shit feels like homework.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay you money to do homework.
Especially now that they fucking support Trump.
Right. Do we look like masochists? No.
Yeah. Okay. I was just like reading this. I'm like, what if this was Star Wars, or what if this was Star Trek or something? I'm like, okay, here's Star Trek, and I'm reading about Spock and Kirk, and then 1,000 years in the future, from that story, Spock is like a little bug now. Or a little robot bug insect or whatever the fuck. I'm like, would I still care? Right. Probably not.
Probably not. It's not even Spock. It wouldn't even be Spock. It'd be somebody you've even heard of. Spork.
Yeah, whatever.
Spook,
yeah.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that has Spock's consciousness or whatever the fuck in there. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Or Darth Vader. Or just
so
name, you know.
You don't even remember anything that happened back then. Like, you don't even remember Spock. Never heard of him.
Yeah, why should I give a shit about what's going on 1,000 years in the future?
Right.
You know?
And with all these detailed fucking notes, that's the shit that really pisses me off.
Or Game of Thrones. 1,000 years from Game of Thrones would be today.
Right.
Why would I? There's no dragons or zombies now. Why would I give a shit?
Right.
I don't.
Just dumbass people driving to work and shit. That's Game of Thrones now.
Yeah. The Iron Throne. Look what it got you.
Find out what happens next week.
Yeah, 1,000 years from Game of Thrones. I don't.
Oh man, people up Hickman's ass so much, man. It's just like you can't tell a bad story when you see it. I mean, it's good, but it's like the narrative. But he's just telling unnecessary shit, overloaded with way too much information. He even says it in the book, in the very book. Apocalypse says it. Too much information is bad for you. You gotta have that middle ground. You gotta have the right amount of information to know what to do to make the next move. But he doesn't take his own advice. No, he just up his own ass.
Yeah, I just want to know: is that 1,000 years, year 1,000? Is that going to be a series?
Oh my God!
Like, is that?
There's only like 8 people on Earth left. Like, why would it be a series? Like, why does he even care?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, are these like? Is he setting up all these storylines? Because that's like what it seems like he's doing. This is a setup to the new era of the X-Men or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, is that going to be a book? Is that going to, is like are we going to have Librarian #1?
Right, because it all feels so disconnected. It's just like, I don't know how he's going to connect this. Like, the 100-year shit, I can kind of see how that's connected. But the 1,000-year shit just seemed like, it seemed like a whole nother book.
Yeah, a whole nother, like, concept. Like, it's like,
not even X-Men. They're not even mutants. They're just like, what?
Sitting, talking in front of a computer screen.
Oh shit, man! I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5, man. Just because it's testing my patience, it really is. I actually enjoy House of X. House of X is fun. It's a fun book to read.
Yeah,
but
I will admit that. Yeah,
it's testing my patience, man. It's really taxing me.
Yeah,
it takes a lot out of me.
Because I remember last time I read House of X and Powers of X back to back.
Right.
And House of X was fine. I'm like, oh, that was kind of cool. Well, let me check out Powers. And then I'm like, and then I was exhausted. Now, last week I read House of X and enjoyed it for the most part, but this week it was this book. And I'm like, oh, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I might be done. I tried. I gave it a thorough try.
You tried. You really tried. I gotta give it to you.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, it's my turn.
It's your turn.
What am I? You're doing Silver Surfer? Let's see. Okay.
Well, it's your turn now. Yeah. Well, you actually.
I'll do Fantastic Four.
Cool. I want to hear about this.
Yeah, Fantastic Four, number 13. This continues the fight between Hulk and the Thing. So last issue, Ben Grimm and Alicia, they were going on their honeymoon, and it was going to be during when the Thing turns into human form once a year, so they can go and knock the boots on the honeymoon. But the Immortal Hulk shows up. He is being controlled by
the Puppet Master.
The Puppet Master, who is Alicia's step-in. And he basically gets the Immortal Hulk to start beating the shit out of Ben Grimm. He causes an avalanche, and Alicia gets stuck in the rubble. A bunch of other people from the island get stuck in the rubble. And so she's stuck and trapped, and that picks up right now in this issue. The Thing is trying to get Alicia out of the rubble, but he has a minute to fight the Hulk before he turns back into Ben Grimm, where he will pretty much die. So this is basically, they continue to fight, and I like it right off the bat. They're saying, everyone says, who's stronger, the Hulk, the Thing? It's the Hulk, okay? He's stronger than me. I know.
Because he whoops his ass every time.
He's always beat me up, and So he just addresses it right off the bat, but it's still going back to a nice story about the relationship between the characters and like Alicia, and at the end, he basically pulls her out of the rubble, and she's like, "You gotta get him, man. You gotta get him." She's like, "I can't. I'm gonna turn into Ben Grimm in like a few seconds." He's like, "No, but you got to do this." And he's stronger than yes, but you got more heart.
Nobody has more heart than Ben Grimm.
Yeah, nobody has more heart than you. Like Hulk has all the strength. Even Immortal Hulk is probably smarter than you now, but you've got all the heart in the world. And so that's basically he rises up and nice, good, huge right hook right in the fucking punches the Hulk so hard that it makes the Puppet Master drop his little Hulk puppet, and break it.
Yeah, and breaks his own arm while he's doing it too.
Yeah, and so And then he turns into Ben Grimm, blacks out, goes into a coma in a week, wakes up a week later. He's back to the thing. He's like, "Oh man, we missed our honeymoon." I'm so, "Oh, we'll do it next year. We got all the time in the world to start a family and all that stuff." So, okay, well, cool. And in the epilogue, which was my favorite, was where the Hulk tracks down the Puppet Master on the raft.
No, and how he got to him was really fucked up too.
Yeah, he's like, Banner drowned a bunch of times while I was swimming here. And he's like, and he ends up breaking Puppet Master's hands. Similar
He's
to
like, I'll never build a puppet of you again, Hulk. Oh, I know.
Yeah, and I ain't just stopping with your hands. And then it cuts, and you just hear him going, "Ah!" He's screaming and shit. It reminded me of World War Hulk when Doctor Strange entered the astral plane,
right?
And Hulk broke his hand.
In the astral plane, broke his hand in real life.
Yeah. So this was fun. This was a 4 out of 5. You know what? This almost made me think I might start reading Fantastic.
It made me think that too. I'm like, I don't even enjoy this shit, but this book was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Gomer wants to drop the book after this. Like, he's already dropped the book now, so he's not even reading this shit.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe that's what it needed, a year to get through the bullshit, and that'll be cool.
Right. Or maybe we're just excited because we see Hulk, and then once Hulk goes back,
that's pretty much the only reason why I bought it.
Right. So don't get excited too fast.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 4 out of 5 also. Like I said, I read it also. Next book I'm going to review is Event Leviathan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is actually the first book I read in the story. It's part 3 of 5, but I'm going to just cut 3 to go to it. So the book starts off with Batman, Green Arrow, Damian, Manhunter, Plastic Man, and Lois Lane. They're all having a powwow, talking about what they're going to make the next move. And I think Red Hood's with them too. But anyway, they all talk about, like, this is not our finest out, Batman, because you saw we just got our ass kicked a second ago, and then it flashes back to Red Hood. They're all fighting Red Hood because they think Red Hood is Leviathan, and Red Hood actually kicks everybody's asses in there, and then he gets right down to the end. He sees Lois Lane, pulls a gun on Lois Lane. Lois Lane pulls out her recorder and just start asking him interview questions like that. She was like, okay. And he actually started answering the questions. He was like, Lois Lane, you need to find out what's going on here. Basically look at the point, like, where is Waller? Where's your dad? The people that got attacked first, they're probably like the main suspects. It's not me. Even though I think it's a good idea, it's not me. But you need to check those guys first. And you're like, well, that kind of makes sense. They come back to the Fortress of Solitude. They're still having, collecting information. And Batman's like, well, where is Waller? And Lois like, I don't know. She was here. Like, here where? Like, in the Fortress of Solitude. Like, she was in the Fortress of Solitude. And she broke out of an alien prison. Like, yeah. And you let her go. Like, yeah. You're like, y'all some dumbasses. And then Damien, found it. And he found the device that Waller was using to spy on them in the Fortress of Solitude. And she was like, yeah, I'm keeping this. This is technically to avoid this Fortress of Solitude. We're keeping this. Batman doesn't say anything. He Batman is like, yeah, Damien, put this shit in the car. We're never gonna know about this. So, and then they basically about to get out of the Fortress of Solitude. They don't know what else Waller has bugged in there. Waller's in, I guess, New Mexico or somewhere. She's on the run. She walks outside and she sees Leviathan. Leviathan also had like 100 goons with him, stuff like that. And Waller's like, oh, this is the team that's coming to kidnap me. And Leviathan is, well, they could be your firing squad. It's up to you, depending on what move you make next. And then all you hear in the sky is Miss Waller. And she looks up and it's Superman. And he says, is this guy bothering you? The line from Justice League or whatever. And that's the book. Yeah, that's it. So, what? Superman fights Leviathan, maybe. I don't know. This book is like moving super duper slow since it's going over 3 different issues and nothing is really going on. Yeah. So, overall, I'll still give it a 3 out of 5 because I'm ready to find out. Move to the next storyline. Shit, nothing is happening. All the information they gave, we already knew that. Yes, Waller's a suspect. We knew that. So, that's all I got. Well, I got more, but that's all I got for that book.
Okay. Well, I'll do Punisher Kill Crew, #1.
Cool. This is a play on the Skull Kill Crew that Grant Morrison wrote back in the 90s, but okay.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought this was just a reject from the War of the Realms.
It is, but it's a play on basically these ex skull hunters. But it was basically like hunting down immigrants and shit like that. Whatever.
Oh, okay. So basically, this is just is it still going on? Remnants of War of the Realms. Some parents have been killed or whatever, and Punisher has the kids, and they're like, our parents were killed by these monsters. So Punisher's okay, I'll go kill these monsters for you. So he basically goes out and finds this big giant goat and chariot, and decides to go hunt these monsters. And that's basically the story. At the beginning, he shows up and he fights some of the elves and frost giants and shit, and he's machine gunning them and throwing grenades and shit. So there's a lot of action. It's not a bad book, it's Punisher doing Punisher shit, but I don't really give a shit because it's War of the Realms. The shit's over with. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but I kind of like Punisher killing frost giants and shit like that. It's a cool image.
It is, but not enough for me to, this is
it's cool for
one.
like a poster. Like there's not really like a whole story. Yeah, it's cool to like watch a poster or something.
Yeah, because this could be anything. He could be fighting zombies or aliens or.
That is true.
Or vampires or whatever. They're interchangeable. You know what I mean? It would have had the same effect.
Right.
It's just.
And is there a reason he's wearing the helmet? He's just wearing it just to look like Skyrim.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not going to continue on. I was kind of disappointed, like when I heard, it's Punisher Kill Crew. Is this that crew that he was running with last issue? Because last issue in the regular Punisher run, he teamed up with Black Widow and Ghost Rider and Moon Knight and shit. I was like, okay, I would love to see that book, but no, it's just him. He doesn't even have a crew. It's just him.
Yeah, it was just him the whole time just killing people. It's like, okay, we can watch that in a regular Punisher comic.
Yeah. So, 3 out of 5. I mean, it's not bad. It's just I don't care. Is all. Okay. But if you want to see Punisher shoot a bunch of demons and monsters, there you go. You can do it.
Have at it. Yeah. All right. So next book we're going to review is what is this? Silver Surfer Black #3.
Yeah.
Okay, Silver Surfer Black #3. Basically how the book starts off, Norrin Rad is back on Zinla, with his girl Shabalabala, Shaka Khan. What's the name? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, she got some weird ass name, and they just in bed laying down. He's like, "Girl, I want to put a baby in you." She's like, "Okay," but then that's when the Destroyer of Worlds shows up. Norrin Rad looks outside, and it's the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
100 feet tall, eating the planet. He was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that,
Black Silver Surfer.
Yeah, Black Silver Surfer, right. So, but then Ego tells him wake up from his dream. He's like, Ego's like, Surfer, wake up. I let you sleep for a little while. I read your mind. I didn't mean to, but I had to read your mind to find out make sure that you weren't, coming to kill me like that asshole Null is, So Silver Surfer flies on Ego, he asks permission, flies on Ego. They sit there and talk. Ego turns out he has like a cold or a cancer or something's affecting him right now. Mm-hmm. And Silver Surfer is basically like, if I help you, will you help me kill Null? You're like, yeah, I'll help you. All right. But you won't survive at my planet's core. It'll kill you. You're like, let me worry about that. So Silver Surfer actually turns his surfboard into a power drill. Can he do that?
The drill bit?
Drill bit? Yeah. I didn't know he could do that.
Sure.
Sure, why not? Okay.
Why not?
So he drills himself to the planet, to Ego's core. When he gets there, he get all these like bacteria and white blood cells attacking him and shit, but they're the size of him. Normally Silver Surfer would have beat this shit no problem, but he's getting weaker. He doesn't know how much we can get him, so he has a hard time fighting these bacteria off. But he's decided to go into like the core, the hottest part of Ego's, body, because he knows that part will kill off these bacteria, but it's just hot enough that it won't kill him. Now, if he was at full strength, it wouldn't bother him at all. But it's just enough where he can kind of feel it. He goes to the center and he sees exactly what is attacking him. And it's a Galactus incubator thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me neither. Lifebringer 1.
Lifebringer 1. So I don't know if he's birthing Galactus, or if Galactus got a home in Beacon where he's going to eat him, because like I said, Ego is a planet. Galactus eat planets. So 1 and 1 plus, 1 plus 1 equals 2. You know, I'm thinking somehow Galactus is going to get involved in this, and Silver Surfer's going to be like, "Hey, I got an idea. Why don't I have Galactus eat Null's planet?" I mean, that would make the most sense. Stick Galactus on him.
Yeah.
That's my
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Like I said, I don't even know what an incubator tank is. I don't.
Yeah, and this is this the birth? Yeah, because this takes place like way back in the past because he went through that black hole.
Oh, that's right. That's because Ego said he was young.
Yeah, and Ego is growing. Like
I forgot.
He's still
this is
developing,
like the beginning of time. Okay, so we're witnessing the birth of Galactus.
Yeah.
But I thought Galactus was born at the beginning of time. No, I thought Galactus actually lived before the universe.
I don't. Well, no. According to this, no is before anything.
Okay, whatever. Okay, so basically we're witnessing the birth of Galactus. I think.
Yeah, basically something.
I'll ask Danny Cates on Twitter and see if he answers. I don't know.
Yeah.
He might say fuck off or whatever.
Bringer,
I can want to comment. They'll talk to him. They'll talk to him. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. It was still a cool story. Wasn't as much action like it was last one when Noah was beating the shit out of him. But the art style is still pretty trippy.
Yeah, not much happens. It's just a conversation between him and Ego. Well, he has that dream, and then it's just a conversation between him and Ego, and then.
And I get the dream because Silver Surfer still feels guilty for all the planets he killed. You know, all the planets that Galactus ate and he found them for Galactus, he feels guilty for.
Yeah, and that he's infected with the symbiote, basically.
Right. And I thought about that. Remember the Thanos arc that Donny Cates wrote?
Okay.
Remember, Silver Surfer was in all black and he called himself the Fallen One.
I don't remember that. Did he write a Thanos? He did write a Thanos.
Yeah,
I never finished. I only read a couple of those issues. I didn't get that.
Oh, that book was awesome. That book was fucking awesome. But Silver Surfer was in all black in that story. And I'm thinking, is Donny Cates trying to connect this shit? Like that's how he became all black?
Maybe because that is who's destroying Norrin Rad's planet.
Right.
The big giant, black Silver Surfer.
Yeah, so
Black Surfer.
I guess so. Yeah. So that's all I got with that one. I think I'm
gonna go one up and give it 4 out of 5 because I
started to lean that way, but
just because I am digging the art style, I am digging the direction it's going, and just the art is what's really selling this book for me, especially like. Some of the sound effects, like when the big boom and all that stuff, is almost blending in to the background of the art. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's that one like when the Black Silver Surfer shows up on Norrin Rad's planet at the beginning. They're out the window. It says boom, but you can't even really tell because the art is so stylized. It looks like it reminded me of Yellow Submarine. Like the Beatles.
Yeah. Oh, and not only did he do a drill bit with he did some other shit with the board too in this book, but I can't remember what he did. He did something else that made it do something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he did. So I didn't know Silver. I don't think Silver even had these powers before. I think Donny Cates just making this shit up as he go on the fly.
Yeah.
Like fuck, just do what you want to do, which is cool. I got a problem with it.
But that splash page of Ego's core.
Yeah.
He's surfing through Ego's core. I thought
he turned the board into a sword.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
that's cool.
Badass. Okay.
Yeah, because he's zipping. Yeah, he's throwing the sword through all the white blood cells or the virus.
Mm-hmm.
He's battling the virus and it's like zipping around and shit. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Visually, it was really cool.
Yeah.
So.
Really trippy book. So yeah.
Well, I don't know. What else like that? Nothing I really want to talk. I thought Miles Morales is pretty good. He Aaron and Jefferson team up to go rescue Miles from the what are they called? Because he got kidnapped by the assessor or whatever, and they're doing all these experiments on him. So it's just a story of Jefferson and Aaron. His Miles' dad and uncle teaming up to go rescue go rescue Miles, and kind of squashing their beefs and finding emphasizing on the relationship, even though they went separate directions, ended up with separate lives and stuff, that they still care for each other. So that was kind of cool, kind of cute. So I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. And the only other book I got was Detective Comics 1009.
Okay.
It was just, Batman gets into a plane crash.
Man, it's got to be more to it than that.
Well, it wasn't bad actually. Batman, he gets onto a plane to go. They're going to go do some sort of seminar in China about the environment, and then the plane gets hijacked by Deadshot, and they get into a fight, and the plane ends up crashing. That's basically where the book ends. But it's more like sort of highlighting like Batman's. He's tired. Like it starts out, he's fighting crime at night, and then he goes home. And he's right about to crash, and then Alfred comes in. It's like, time to get up. We got a long day ahead of us. And then they go to the meeting and shit with Lucius Fox and all these these like executives and shit, and they're talking about whatever deal they're doing, and Bruce is just like, fuck it, whatever it costs, I'll do it, because you can tell he's just tired. He just wants to go home and sleep. Like, fuck it, we'll do it. We'll get on a plane to Singapore right now. And he just wants to get up. He just does it because he's tired. He wants to sleep. So so they get on the plane. He's thinking he's gonna sleep, but then Deadshot shows up and fucking crashes the plane.
Oh damn. Okay.
So not much happens. It's just set up for the next issue. So it's a 3 out of 5.
Cool. Anything else we got? Or?
That's all I got.
That's all I got. I'm booked out. I probably have another one I can't remember right now. Yeah, definitely listen. If you listen this long, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Definitely listen to our sister podcast, Geek Sav. See what they have going on. Just listen to Comic Cast. Like I said, they review the same books we did, but they usually have a different opinion than what we have. So listen to what they have. Hui TV. Listen to Talking Balls.
Oh yeah.
Oh, big shit happened in the NFL, Eli. Oh, we might have the first black NFL owner of all time.
Oh yeah, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, Jay-Z.
Oh, who's he buying? The Jets?
They didn't say yet. It's undisclosed.
Oh, okay.
But there's a big thing going on right now about that because, we're still supposed to be boycotting Kaepernick.
Oh, we are, huh?
We are. Yeah, we're woke. Jay-Z said, well, that was a while ago. I'm making money. So there's this big, rift going on right now.
Wait, we're woke? We're woke, so we're supposed to boycott him?
Yeah.
I thought... Okay, I'm confused. I don't know what to be mad at now.
Right. Okay. So we're mad at Jay-Z because we're still boycotting the NFL.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah. Not only that not only are they giving Jay-Z an NFL team, he's also over the Super Bowl halftime show now.
Oh, he's going to do it?
No, he's over it. Like, whoever's there, he's in charge of it.
Oh, no shit.
He may or may not do it, but basically he gets all the money from the halftime show now.
Okay.
So they're giving him a team and a halftime show. Even though we're supposed to be boycotting. So.
Well, damn. Well, who's on Rockefeller? Is Rockefeller Records still going on?
No, they ended Rockefeller like 10 years ago.
Oh, I don't know.
He got his own thing. Well, he got some other people. But the thing is, his reach is bigger than Rock Nation. He can get anybody. He's Jay-Z. He's a billionaire.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. But the thing is, the people there were boycotting. It was a hard time for them to get people to get on there because they were boycotting. Now that Jay-Z is there, he can get anybody on there and they'll get there because anybody black that's been on the halftime show the last couple of years, we've been like, oh, there's some shit. Leave them alone, cancel them. That numbers have actually tanked, because nobody wants to deal with them. But now Jay-Z is in the bank because they're throwing just all kind of money at Jay-Z, basically like, racism is over. We have Jay-Z. But it's a touchy subject. We don't know what side is on. Some people are boycotting, some people are not. Some people are happy for him. Some people say it gets him a seat at the table. We have our first black NFL owner that could, cause change. Now that you have somebody on the inside to do something. Or maybe he doesn't care. Who knows? I don't know. People are upset. That's all I know.
Yeah. People are always upset.
People are always upset. Honestly, if I watch football, I may give a shit, but I don't watch football anyway, so yeah, I'm boycotting. Whatever. I don't care either way. You're boycotting too, Eli.
I watch football though.
Okay, you're boycotting everybody except your team.
But
That's the thing. That's the thing.
watch
Everybody's
football.
boycotting, but they still watch it.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense. You mad at Jay-Z for doing all this shit, but you still watching the game every Sunday.
Yeah, man. I got my son. Starting next month, I got Sundays off too, man. I was looking forward to this shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why you getting mad at him when you're not even doing your part?
Yeah.
Not you, Eli. I mean, you can watch whatever you want to watch. I'm just saying that other people are pissed at him, but they're still watching the games every single Sunday, buying tickets, having Super Bowl parties, but they're mad at him.
Yeah, like I said, life sucks. The world's full of injustices. But if you can find the strength to laugh and smile, do that shit.
Right, because I am not canceling Jay-Z. Sorry.
Yeah. Or Marvel.
Or Marvel. Fuck everybody. You call me whatever you want to call me. I'm not canceling either one of them.
Yeah, you can call me an apple or a fucking, fucking custard fucking scout or whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit.
That sounds delicious.
Custard scout.
Right.
New
like
from Hostess.
Right.
Yeah. But red velvet cake with frosting in the middle.
Right. You're like, what did you call me? Oh, yeah. Go listen to those other podcasts they have on Our Geek Crew. I forgot to put stuff. That being said, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.